Coaching feedback. Feedback is information from one person to another that is intended to inspire a behavior change or to reinforce it. The two types of feedback we will cover in this section are encouragement feedback and developmental feedback. Encouragement feedback lets people know what they've done well and acknowledges or recognizes it. Its purpose is to encourage the person to continue what they are doing or to inspire them to do it better. Developmental feedback helps an employee close the gap between the behavior you expected and what you observed. It is non-judgmental feedback because it is always based on examples of their behavior. It is used to help good performance get even better and also used to address performance that is not meeting expectations. Coaching feedback. Feedback is information from one person to another that is intended to inspire a behavior change or to reinforce it. The two types of feedback we will cover in this refresher are encouragement feedback and developmental feedback. Let's start with encouragement feedback. Encouragement feedback lets people know what they've done well and acknowledges or recognizes it. Its purpose is to encourage the person to continue what they are doing or to inspire them to do it better. It recognizes a job well done and signals how the job is valued. This feedback should be relevant, timely, and specific. It should be relevant, meaning it should matter both to the person receiving the feedback and to the job being recognized. The feedback will matter to the person receiving it when it is given using words and a tone that the receiver will find believable and genuine from their perspective. It's important to remember that the kind of praise or recognition that inspires you may actually demotivate someone else. This feedback should come as soon after the behavior is observed as possible. Encouragement feedback makes the best and most positive impact when it is close in time to when it is earned. So, as soon as you see good performance, let them know you appreciate it. Encouragement feedback should also be specific. It should describe the specific behavior, what they said or did that you are recognizing. If it makes sense, also include how their behavior contributed to something bigger or supported a positive outcome. Everyone wants to be a part of a winning team. Avoid following up an acknowledgement of good behavior with anything that isn't up to par. This approach almost always erases the value of the encouragement and often leads to distrust and contributes to bad blood between the employee and supervisor. While feedback like thank you, attaboy, attagirl, or great job is usually appreciated, it doesn't let the person receiving the recognition know what exactly about their behavior you are recognizing. Here are some easy steps to help your encouragement feedback be more effective. First, describe specifically and sincerely what the employee has done to deserve the recognition. State what they said and what they did. Next, explain why their outcome is important in terms of the individual, the team, the customer, or the organization. Explain why what they said or did is important. Next, express confidence in the employee's motivation and ability to continue to meet or exceed expectations. Make sure your tone of voice is genuine and your words say what is important to that specific employee. Finally, thank the employee. No need to make a big deal, just a personal and meaningful word of thanks. Encouragement feedback about good performance will often result in more good performance. But what about performance that needs improvement or is off track? Let's take a look at the second type of feedback, developmental feedback. Developmental feedback is structured to help an employee close the gap between the behavior you expected and what you observed. It is intended to describe the difference between what an employee could be doing or should be doing and what they are doing now. Developmental feedback is non-judgmental because it is always based on valid examples of their behavior. These examples help focus conversations on evidence, not opinions. It is used to help good performance get even better. It is also used to address performance that is not meeting expectations. Whichever outcome you are trying to achieve with developmental feedback, your first step is to simply share information in a clear, unambiguous, and helpful way. Like encouragement feedback, developmental feedback should be timely and matched to the communication style of the person receiving it, and only be about the work that was observed. It should also come as soon after the behavior is observed as possible. But unlike encouragement feedback, it may not be easily received by the employee. If you are trying to help a good employee do better or a poor employee do better, they may think they are already doing as good as they can. They may think or feel that you don't understand them or understand their situation. They may withdraw or attack. To prepare for this possibility, it is important that you have valid examples that describe their behavior and the gap between what they are doing and what is expected. Here are some tips to get yourself ready to give developmental feedback. Make sure you have valid evidence of the behaviors you want to help the employee change. Evidence helps conversations stay away from opinions. If you can, find a spot where you can deliver the feedback privately. Make the feedback positive by focusing on why you are having this conversation. For example, let the employee know you want to help them be more successful in their job. Make it about them and your role to help them do as good a job as they can. Do a self-attitude check before you start. If you are frustrated, angry, or even a little nervous about how the feedback will be received, this could come across in your verbal, vocal, or visual cues, so wait until you have full control of your feelings. Let's take a look at the steps for developmental feedback. Your goal is to help your employees improve their behavior, not to tell them what you feel or think. Remember, this is about them and your responsibility to help them be as good at their work as they can be. Here are some easy steps to help your developmental feedback be more effective. First, describe specifically what behavior you expect and specifically what behavior you have observed. Second, explain why the expected behavior is important in terms of the individual, the team, the customer, or the organization. Third, ask the employee what they think they did and why they did it that way. Listen, listen, and listen. Before you jump in with all the answers, be sure to ask questions. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. You might find there are some barriers that you didn't know existed. Fourth, agree upon a solution by problem solving together how best to close any gaps. Fifth, thank the employee and tell them you will follow up. And finally, follow up with what may be encouragement feedback. Feedback is information from one person to another that is intended to inspire a change in behavior or to reinforce it. It can recognize and encourage good performance, which can lead to continued good performance. It can help poor performance get back on track. Both types of feedback are essential to good coaching and effective leadership. Now it is time to meet with your coach to discuss this concept and get your learning passport stamped.